Jesus, ADD. Jesus Christ. We can't have two people being the host of a podcast that are both ADHD.
That's kind of what this is.
This is going to go
That's
nowhere.
That's kind of what this is.
But this is going to go nowhere, dude.
And everywhere.
Aye. What was I about to say? I don't even know. Let's start the fucking show. What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the No Fun Zone podcast. Today you have myself, and also I'm joined by the very elderly Charlie McClung. You're getting old, bro. You're almost fucking 31. So I talked to Mike. I talked to Mike on his birthday, or maybe no, it was a couple days after his birthday, and I had already told him the story. I told you this, right? 2 weeks after I turned 30. This is how I knew I was like I felt my mortality and I knew I was getting older.
That sounds
2 weeks after I turned 30, and 30 is like the year that everyone says that you start feeling your age more. 2 weeks after I turned 30, take a piss in the morning and I find a white nipple hair. Just one single white nipple hair. I had no white hairs anywhere else on my body before that. And I was just like pissing and just like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. And just like it hits. And then now, like my beard, I got gray stuff all over the place, man.
That's part of growing old. You're talking to a guy who has had gray hair since like middle school.
I know. But just in those couple spots.
I found a few on my
dangling
man junk the other day. One was I did.
That's
some
actually
trimming.
a tagline I had.
I did some trimming and I missed one, and the one that I missed was just this massive silver white hair that I saw while I was pissing. Same thing, but my reaction was try to pull it out, which is the wrong reaction, by the way. I pulled on it and it hurt like a motherfucker. So then I went.
You just gotta fucking just yank it off.
No, I can do that with nose hairs. I can power through and rip
my nose hairs
out. Yeah.
I used to water up all the time when I pluck nose hairs. Now I'm just like, blink.
Yeah.
Blink. And I just don't even feel it anymore.
No,
really.
This one was serious. I gave it a good tug and it didn't want to leave.
So that's actually funny.
So it's white, but it's still got some spirit.
That's good. So it's funny that you say that because that's like a tagline that I had for that joke. When I first wrote it, just like the idea of like, I found a fucking white nipple hair. And then my tagline was, the only thing fucking worse than that is finding a goddamn white pube. And then you just... So Charlie...
I was there. I was on the same wavelength, man. You know it.
No, you were past the wavelength. Basically what that is you're my worst nightmare. Because I said the only thing worse than finding a white nipple hair is finding a white pube. And you filled it.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Perfect.
That's so random that when you started saying that, I was
have
just
white
like,
hair everywhere now. I have white hair, head, beard, chest, back, butt,
head,
legs.
shoulders, knees and toes.
I find white
head, shoulders, knees and toes. I've got white hair everywhere it goes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Oh my god! No, it was like 7th or 8th grade, and Kaya was looking at my hair. And
no, we found it on the bus.
I thought she was the one that found it.
I don't know if she might have found it first, but I remember us noticing it on the bus.
And then I've always had those little patches.
How about that, dude? We've known each other for 27 years, maybe. Because I moved in the neighborhood when I was like 3. Maybe no, I think you moved in.
Yeah, 3 is a good estimate probably because I didn't move there till I was 2 or ish. 2 years.
So
between 2 and 3 because Leo was born.
So I'm 31 and I moved there when I was 3. We probably have known each other.
Yeah.
A quarter of a century, basically.
I know, right?
Isn't that
and
nuts,
we're back
dude?
in the 20s.
What do you mean?
The 20s. 2021.
Oh.
I've been watching a lot of old TV of like the 1920s. So like thinking of...
Okay, well,
20s again. Sorry.
you need to preference that.
No, just 20s in general. I thought people were
Okay, so
like,
Charlie, you need to
on that.
understand that nobody else is following the connections that you're making in your brain.
There's like 100 conversations happening between myself.
I know,
right
but
now.
for us to understand you, you need to.
You're the one that has to coax half of them out. That's part of your job.
Do I want to pull this out right now? All right, let's do this. This is going to be fun. No. So that's actually a great segue, I guess, Charlie. I had this idea earlier today. Speaking of coaxing some of those voices or sort of, I don't know, feelings out, do you want to take a sexual orientation quiz?
Fuck yeah.
I thought this would be so funny. All right, so I pulled this up earlier.
I'm genuinely intrigued.
So I've got your initials in there. Highest degree, I put college. Race. Excuse me. What is your race? Race/ethnicity, white. Gender, male. Sexual orientation, I put unsure. The options are straight, gay or lesbian, bisexual, asexual, other, or unsure. What do you think?
Wait, so this is the quiz, or the quiz is just
No, this
one
is just
answer?
like, this is them like trying to sort of figure out where you're at. Maybe.
What are the options?
This isn't so straight, gay or lesbian, bisexual, asexual, other, or unsure.
Straight.
You went straight? All right. I went unsure.
I'm
Parent,
everything curious, but I'm straight.
parent, no. Your age, 30. Your location, let's make you from Bangladesh. How fluent are you in English? 1 through 10. I put you at an 8.
That's generous.
I thought you were gonna be like, I'm definitely fluent in fucking English. Why'd you put me at an 8, you dick? I thought you were, but all right. So 7, you'd say.
No, it's at least a 9. I was just adding to the joke in the
All
wrong
right.
direction.
I'm gonna stick with 8. just to be safe. We went with 7. We went 9. We're just gonna go in the
Fair,
middle.
fair.
8. Over the years, how much uncertainty have you felt about your sexual orientation? Low, high, 1 through 10. I put 7 for you.
Probably like a 4.
4. Okay. All right. Over the years, how much distress have you felt about your sexual orientation? I put you at a 1.
Yeah.
Figured. I knew I nailed that when I put that down. I was like, yeah, you didn't. He doesn't know.
0.
It's how much uncertainty. I was like, he's got to have a little bit of uncertainty, and just like how much distress. I was like, absolutely none. He doesn't know what's going on, but he also does not care that he doesn't know. That's so true.
Cheers, mate.
I didn't even like really put that logic
my
together until
God.
now, but that's so perfectly exactly you.
You got
So many times you don't know what's going on,
As soon as
but you
said
also
1, it
just
was
do
like,
not care.
Done. Yeah.
Oh my God. Over the years, has your sexual orientation changed? You go fluid?
No.
Mix it up a little bit? No? Okay. All right, so on to the actual test.
Wait, what?
What do you mean?
That was all just the intro?
Yeah, no, just like sort of just gauging sort of where you're at.
All right.
You know what I mean? But now we're going into the actual test. How many questions are there?
Fuck.
18. Not that many. I wish we had like or fucking what is it? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire lights. That's just like 40.
Can I phone a friend?
40 blue beam. I mean, it depends on what friend you're phoning. If we're taking a sexual orientation quiz, Steve. So
Remember that time?
had a question for you. Remember college? Wild times, huh? All right. Question number 1. Let me take a sip here. Have you ever felt sexually attracted to a member of the same sex? Yes or no?
No.
No.
I've thought about it being a possibility, but I've never actually been.
I think all of these questions need to have a space where it just says "but," and then have like a little.
No, I'm trying to answer it honestly, and I don't think I've ever actually. I've been open to the idea, but never actually been like triggered about it like I do with women.
All right. We'll count that as a no. I would say.
Yeah, I want to actually do this quiz.
I know this is funny. How strongly are you sexually attracted to members of the same sex? Not at all, moderately, very strongly.
Yeah, so on this scale, I would do like a 1.
We don't have those options.
Oh.
You have not at all, moderately, or very strongly.
Oh, really? Then it's not at all.
Not at all? Okay. All right. Have you ever had a dream about a sexual encounter with a member of the same sex?
So I guess, okay.
So, as soon as you start with the so.
So. What about like DP on a chick? Does that still count as a gay experience? Because that definitely fantasized.
Yep, because that is a sexual encounter with a member of the same sex. Okay.
So I'm not like into the guy necessarily directly, but
you're rubbing dicks.
I am okay with that. Yeah.
The dicks are rubbing.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens.
That's part of the deal, man.
DP, so dicks are rubbing? Yeah, dude, that happens.
It's part of the deal.
Have you ever had a waking fantasy about a sexual encounter with a member of the same sex?
Again, if there is a woman involved and another man, then yes.
So a waking fantasy about a sexual encounter, basically including a member of the same sex.
Sure.
Okay. I'm excited, dude. I wish I had like streamers and banners to drop when we find out exactly what your personal sexual identity is, regardless of what it is. It would just be like, hey, Charlie. Have you ever felt sexually aroused when you've had any exposure to two people of your same gender having a sexual encounter?
No.
Ooh. Of your same gender. Okay.
Yeah. No, and that's something like I've always been open to it and thinking about it, but the gay scenes in movies still make me a little like, ooh.
Feel a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
At first I thought I had
Yeah.
At first I thought I hadn't understood it correctly, and I thought it said two people of the same sex. When you said no, I was like, are you kidding me? Lesbians exist.
Yeah. No.
Scissoring's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so of your same sex, we'll go with no. Have you ever voluntarily had sexual contact, such as kissing or petting, with a member of the same sex?
No.
Really? You never kissed a dude?
I don't think so. No.
Not even like a
family
joke?
member?
Not even like a joke? Just
I don't know. It would have been you. You're my best fucking friend. Is that a surprise? No. Come on, man.
That's just such a... No, it would have been you, dude.
Well, I'm honestly thinking like...
I almost feel like I got proposed to. I'm honored, Charlie.
Giggity. Will you be my best friend?
I'm honored, Charlie. If I was going to kiss any fucking bro in the world, dude, it would for sure probably be you.
For sure. And if you ever wanted to double deep a chick and like rub dicks.
I'm not into that. I've never wanted... I don't understand.
That's homage to Danny always coming in. Double team? That happened at least 2 or 3 times.
Danny. I miss that fool.
Away, Danny.
Oh, so that's one thing I was going to say before is like, yeah, at points we should call, like, let Mike and or Danny know and just like, hey man, we're going to record an episode of the podcast. Are you free that we can talk somewhere between this amount of time? And have them put in like, just even if they have just like AirPods or like something with like a semi-decent microphone and be able to just plug them in and record.
Fuck yeah, man.
Off of them and just have conversations. Because that's like Danny lives
and
far
adding
away.
Emily in randomly last time was actually a great addition.
Yeah, I listened back to that and that whole bit about the home colostomy.
But wait.
There's more. Okay.
Anyway. Beautiful.
Oh, that was a mixture of beer and whiskey, and it felt weird.
Well, I'm gonna want a smoke piss.
well, we
water
gotta finish.
break.
We gotta finish this questionnaire, man.
Oh fuck, we're in a questionnaire.
Yeah, we can't fucking stop now.
All right, no, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
We
We
gotta
gotta
finish this. I totally forgot about it already.
we can take a break. I know. Trust me. I feel like a fucking a rodeo clown, fucking chasing one of them one of them steers down the old goat path, and getting them just riled up in that cage with the moose.
Never go full retard.
Sorry, I just had a stroke. Sorry, not a big deal. All right, number 7. Would you be willing to have sexual relations with someone of the same sex? No, maybe, or yes.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. How much money?
Is that the question?
No, that's my own question.
I don't care about money.
So it's the whole joke of like, would you sleep with me for $1? No. Would you sleep with me for $1 million? Yeah. All right. So we're just arguing about price at this point. Like,
yeah.
So
no, it's not like literally. I'm a broken person. Money doesn't matter.
Just a joke. Didn't need to analyze it that much.
I thought too much. That's a
8. How frequent are your same-sex sexual fantasies or dramas? Never have. That's a weird question. How frequent are your same-sex sexual fantasies or drama or dreams, not dramas? Shit. So that's one of my mental incapacities is I'm dyslexic as fuck. Never have them. Rare or occasional. Frequent.
Rare or occasional.
All right. Question 9. How frequent are your same-sex sexual encounters? Never have them.
Never.
Rare. Never.
Well. Again,
this is why I said that at the beginning that every question should have a space for well or but or so.
Well, again, it comes to the never been directly man on man, but I've been more than one man on.
So I would say that's a same sex sexual encounter.
I've been in a room with other dicks. I have not touched.
Technically,
them.
you and I have been in a room with several other dicks.
Fair enough. Oh, that one party I woke up with 5 naked people. There was 3 girls, 3 guys.
No, I was in a different room for that.
No, I'm saying that also
but
happened, and I don't remember what happened, so there could have been stuff.
But when we went to that one party.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about.
I forgot about that one.
You forgot about that one? How's that not a frequent player on your fucking roll?
The sex party.
That was your chance, bro. We were fucking 19.
I almost jumped in there, dude. I would have gotten a fucking STD though.
Maybe.
The only
it was definitely a low budget kind of fucking porn shit.
Well, that was back when we were selling.
Remember the security guard?
Do
you remember the security guard?
No.
You don't remember the security guard, dude? You don't remember the security guard?
Jerking off in the corner. Oh, yes. I thought you meant outside the place. No,
and then he tried. There was the black dude was fucking the blonde chick. So the black dude was fucking the blonde chick. Everyone had moved inside.
In the swing?
And they were in the swing outside, and the security guard just was out there jacking it. And then everyone went out there to watch, and then the black dude was just like, I'm fucking over this now.
Yeah.
And he just bounced, and then the security guard tried to just fucking thumb his limp dick into her.
Barely remember that.
I remember that clearly because that was the moment where I'm just like, oh, this wasn't the party that I thought it was going to be. I thought this was just going to be Playboys and just
Well, I think the problem with that point in the story is that's when I was telling my inner self, don't go up there and fuck her, because I was gonna push him away and whip it out and just get it on in front of everybody, because she was hot, dude.
Yeah, she was, but that was never a thought in my brain at one single moment during that entire night.
Oh, I wanted to get naked and fuck half those chicks.
Oh, I wanted to fuck all of the chicks, because all the chicks were hot. I wanted to fuck them. Never once did I think I want to try and fuck her in front of fucking 40 people.
Yeah, I guess that's the benefit of the Charlie brain is I get.
Well, and it was just so slimy, and it was just such a seedy fucking scene, and it just felt so weird. The vibe just felt so weird.
I just remember being high.
I remember you flashed the camera.
With my dick?
No, not with your dick. You just went like.
Oh, with my shirt. Yeah,
I remember that.
I remember that because they looked at me. They're like Flash, and I was like,
dude,
what?
that was more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Crazy.
Well, I just remember selling weed to all the porn
No,
stars.
we were on the way back from selling weed.
No, but I remember we sold weed to them while they were naked. We were hanging out with them in the kitchen.
And we smoked with them.
Yeah, like smoking weed and giving them weed.
I would discreetly fucking burn the fucking end off.
Yeah.
You'd get the pipe and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to take a hit. I'm just going to go ahead and burn all these fucking chlamydia germs and fucking spores and fucking cockroaches off of this. And then I'm going to smoke. You get there, bud?
I'm trying to fix the headset. Yeah, it's very sensitive. Got to twist it.
All right, so back to the sexual orientation quiz.
Fuck me. We're only like halfway through, right?
We're almost exactly halfway through. Question 9. How frequent are your same... Oh yeah, so how frequent are your same-sex sexual encounters? You said rare or occasional. All right, number 10. Have you ever felt sexually attracted to a member of the opposite sex?
Yeah.
I feel like... Oh, yeah? Oh, of the opposite sex, yeah.
Duh.
I accidentally clicked no, but we'll change that.
What?
I'm just kidding.
It's rigged, man.
How strongly are you sexually attracted to members of the opposite sex? Not at all, moderately, very strongly.
Very.
Have you ever had a dream about a sexual encounter with a member of the opposite sex? Obviously.
Guaranteed.
Have you ever had a waking fantasy about a sexual encounter with a member of the opposite sex? Obviously. Have you ever felt sexually aroused when you've had any exposure to someone of your gender having a sexual encounter with someone of the opposite sex?
Yeah.
Through gossip video? Obviously. We've all watched porn.
Yeah. Emily prefers lesbian.
You gave me my first porn.
What? Was it the VHS?
No, it wasn't a VHS. It wasn't a porn, but the first naked pictures of girls that I really got to see. Because it was in middle school. Because like my dad was a computer nerd, so he knew how to, even back then, and like
block you.
He knew how to block me completely. But I found out at one point that he didn't do any of that to my sister's computer, so I'd just go beat off in my sister's.
Thank you, Bridget. Oh!
Eventually, my dad took the internet away on my computer. But I think it was like, it might have been even 6. No, it might have been.
Back then, you had to wait to look at a picture.
Well, no, but you had printed out a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And you had given me a Maxim before that. And then you're like, I'll trade you. You gave me like 3 Maxims. I think you were trying to sell them. I don't know, but I think you were trying to like sell them to other people. Probably. Most likely. I mean,
I was not have a Maxim subscription in middle school.
But somehow I remember I had Maxims that you had given me. And you're like, oh, I'll trade you all those Maxims for like these 5 sheets of paper with like pictures of naked girls that were like yay big.
I remember.
I mean, I'd seen boobs and like shit before. Like I'd, snuck like apple pie out of my parents' DVDs and like found that and like found the scenes where you could see it.
Yeah.
Like, when you're young.
But
in
having
the 90s,
like a printed out
and just like
bank.
just being able to use that whenever you wanted.
Right.
That was like my first like consistent access.
I remember printing out a lot of it. My mom found a bunch of it and was like, "What?"
My mom. I think my mom found some of it too.
But when my mom moved recently, we moved everything out of her house. I was taking everything out of my closet, and there was this old stuffed puppy that was a puppet. And I was like, "Oh, look at this guy!" And I put my hand up as like a puppet. Like, remember this?
And there's just a stack of porn in there.
And there was paper in there, and I pulled it out, but it was just tits. I had like no face, no body. I had just cut the chest off of this chick, and it was literally just this clip picture of tits stuffed into this old puppet dog.
I remember feeling when I was like,
"Oh my god, are we still not done with this?"
No, because we keep getting distracted.
Oh my god!
All right, let's get off the porn topic. Let's keep going. We're almost done.
Yeah, no, I need to get a piss smoke break.
Jesus, Charlie, we're never gonna be able to record shit with this attitude.
That's what editing is for.
Have you ever voluntarily had sexual contact, such as kissing or petting, with a member of the opposite sex? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to have sexual relations with someone of the opposite sex?
Yeah.
Yeah. This quiz got really dumb towards the
Well,
end.
they're going to like the other side of it.
How frequent are your opposite sex sexual fantasies? Rare, occasional, frequent.
Frequent.
Yeah. How frequent are your opposite sexual encounters?
Frequent.
All right, submit. Sexual orientation range 7 out of 18. So 18 is full blown gay. Just fucking Daisy Dukes, thigh high boots, fucking singing in the rain gay. 0.
Is that the description on the site?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's exactly what they said. Yep. It says right here.
There's
dude.
a scientific measurement.
It says right here, singing in the rain gay. And just like, not even just singing in the rain, but just arms wide open, just...
Sounds fantastic.
And just like, and hips not centered, one hip cocked to the side, just one boot out, and they're pink fucking battle boots.
Oh my God, that's my album cover.
All right, I think we need to bump this up a couple steps.
I'm kidding.
So
what's the range then?
So 18 is just, singing in the rain gay. 0 is just chopping wood under the northern sky straight.
So I'm
and you're a
almost in the
7.
middle.
You're pretty close. So you're medium. I mean, that's like...
Yeah, I'm definitely straight, but I feel like I'm more open than most.
Okay, so what it says is the center point is your SOR, or of your SOR, is your mean sexual orientation. So your middle point is a 3.5.
Oh, all right.
So you lean mostly on the straight side, but you got a little gay in you.
Totally.
Just a little bit.
Love it.
Just the dash.
It's a healthy
Right.
amount.
All right, fair enough. All right, that was interesting. That was fun. And this is why I wanted to be able to do games and stuff like this.
Yeah, no,
'Cause
this is perfect. You said that, and I was like, I am down to take this quiz.
Because it's fun to actually take the quiz, but that led us just down so many fucking fun pathways.
Yeah.
So you got to let it
we
go
had
with
to
it.
keep, like, actively coming back to it. What do you think of this scotch, though, by the way?
It's really good. Dude, for scotch, like I usually expect scotch to be super, super, super smoky.
No,
the finish.
The peaty stuff is interesting, but this one is
Yeah, it's
so clean. It's so good.
yeah, it's really good. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick break so Charlie can go smoke a cigarette, and we will back in just a moment.
Righteous.
I'm going to just keep that over here so that's at close hands.
Still
All right,
heat
so
wave.
you want to talk about aliens for a sec?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you've been seeing all the shit that's been coming out.
No.
What?
I'm under a rock.
What? You haven't heard about any of these things?
I have a very light understanding of
Oh my God.
some subject. I
Ah,
can
so
search for things.
This will have to be just its own devoted podcast for just us talking aliens. I'll do the research this week. Don't you fucking worry about it, okay?
I've always believed in.
So did you see Bob Lazar's documentary? Oh, you can just look it up on here. Fuck yeah, I
I
forgot
know that's
about
what I'm
that,
about
dude.
to do.
Oh my God, dude. I was about to look it up on the fucking stupid iPad, and fuck that shit, bro. Fuck
I
yeah.
got the computer.
Oh, cool.
Did you?
So search Tic Tac UFO. Tic Tac like the candy. No K. I mean,
Like
yeah,
this?
there you go. So this is one of the earlier ones that came out.
Yeah. I've seen all these before.
No, but like, so if you go through like that third one down, we're not gonna be able to listen to it, but that dude, Commander David Fravor, is a commander with the U.S. Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on Joe Rogan's podcast, which was super interesting, talking about like how he physically saw this thing, and they saw it on radar go from 80,000 feet all the way down to like 30 feet off the water in less than a second. And they have video of all this shit on radar, of like different incidents, but they don't show any propulsion mechanism, so there's no exhaust coming out. Like
Is this the one that goes underwater too?
Mm-hmm. They all do.
Yeah.
Because it's transmedium.
Yeah.
It's gravity propulsion. So they're manipulating gravity and creating a gravity field in front of the ship wherever they want to go. So the gravity just pulls them in, and that's why they can seemingly fly at such crazy speeds. Because relativity from Einstein, the closer you travel, or the closer you are to a high level of gravity, the slower time goes for you relatively.
I heard a good metaphor for this the other day. Actually, is I don't follow as much of this, but I do read the scientific journals on like warp drives and like quantum physics and like all those things.
Have you heard of element 115?
No.
That's supposedly the fuel that these gravity manipulating engines run on.
Interesting.
And Bob Lazar, who supposedly worked on this stuff, have you heard of him? Bob Lazar, super nerdy dude, but he came out in like 1989 and did an interview. Look him up. Look up Bob Lazar.
Well, I wasn't done.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Wait, what was I forgot what I was saying.
Oh my God.
No, it was the whole.
You were talking about warp drives.
Yeah, the whole concept you were talking about. With space time and relativity, you're just basically shrinking space in front of you and expanding it behind you. So instead of you moving yourself, you're moving space around you.
So you're always in a state of falling.
But someone explained it to me the other day, or maybe it was an article, and a really good illustration metaphor for this is like you're laying
on a bed,
and
somebody
bed,
puts a bowling
bed
ball
or
in the
a carpet
center
or something. Yeah,
somebody puts a bowling ball, a really heavy weight, and then everything rolls towards it.
Well, no, that's one thing. No, this
That's
is
what I've
more.
heard.
Somebody puts an object that you're trying to get to at the end of a carpet, and you're just laying on the carpet. You could crawl across the carpet to get to it, or you could pull the carpet to you.
Scrunch the carpet up.
You could pull the carpet to you.
All right.
And so that's the travel side of it. So you're explaining the gravity side of the attraction, but like the travel,
but gravity
shortening the distance. You know what I mean? So anyway, it was a good metaphor. That's what I was trying to get
It makes perfect sense. I mean, it's we're describing two aspects of the same thing because gravity warps space time.
Exactly.
In that same way. So what you're doing is shortening the space time where the gravity is most dense right in front of the ship, and then it lengthens behind you. So it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been
this
following
is all
that kind of stuff.
Supposedly theoretical.
But I've heard a lot about the headlines of a lot of this stuff coming out. But a lot of this, I've also been an alien conspiracy theorist for a while.
Yeah, me too.
So a lot of this I've already seen.
No, I know, but I mean, okay. So let me see if you can pull this up so we can both look at it. I pulled it up on mine. So I saw this article today. Where did it go?
This does need to be its own podcast, by the way. Aliens.
Oh no, yeah, we can get super in depth with this. So the article I found on Scientific American, a possible link between Oumuamua. Did you hear about what Oumuamua was? So like 3 years ago, I think it was 2017. It said in the article, there was this object. Just type it in. And
yeah.
Yeah, the object that flew in near Earth space.
That was hard to describe. It was something that didn't fit any pattern of known asteroid or meteor. Yeah.
It was accelerating without having the comet plume. And it seemed like it was accelerating away from the sun. Like
didn't it decelerate at some point too?
Yeah, it decelerated, I think, on the way to the sun, maybe. And then when it passed the sun,
it was unexplainable by standard like orbital physics.
So I saw something today that they were saying that might be. There's some evidence that might link that to the recent. They call them UAPs now, not UFOs. So under unidentified aerial phenomena, as opposed to unidentified flying object.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying that they're like, how crazy would that be if Oumuamua, that big fucking object, was a giant fucking Balrog motherfucker spaceship that was just flying past just to see, and they sent out some scouts to check out all the planets and see what the fuck's going on. Dude, we might be in for a fucking alien apocalypse.
What if they're listening to us right now?
Yo, all hail Gargamel. He's my favorite. He's the best fucking emperor I've ever heard of. Duke Leto is great. He's awesome.
God, what a sellout.
Dude,
aliens.
What are you gonna do against them?
Haven't you seen Mars Attacks? It's opera music, man.
Or no. Did you ever watch Spaceship Troopers? Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers, yes, of course.
That was a good one.
God, that was
a real
brutal.
good one.
I saw that when I was young, and it was.
Oh, it's
terrifying.
gnarly. Yeah, for sure. But it's a good
But it was
movie.
also brutal before DVD.
Oh, yeah. It was.
So
yeah.
That's a while ago.
I watched it sometime recently in the past couple of years. Oh my God. It's still so good, but it's so campy and so 80s and so cringy that it's just now a comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like the aliens look so bad. So bad. No, but so going back to my thing with like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking suck all the dicks of the aliens if they come, because if they are able to come here that easily, they're gonna fuck us up.
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna be their enemy.
Fuck me up.
I'm not gonna be their enemy.
If they're here to fight, I'm going down fighting. Fuck them.
What if they offer you your very own Roman style orgy?
Then they're not here to fight. If they're here to fuck, I'll fuck them.
No, but no, but that's the thing is like they don't nowadays. I mean, that's how governments do it now. You don't fight. You fight on the internet, and you do like fucking sketchy covert operations, and they use the media to take over your fucking mind, bro. And then you can't think for yourself, dude. Now I'm just turning into Hulk Hogan.
Now that's what they tell you. They're gonna come down and they're gonna fucking drop that fat daddy leg down on you from the top rope. And dude and brother, you're gonna come through and you're gonna try and give those aliens, but fucking Hulkamaniacs are gonna come through, brother.
I don't know. It's like it's the same thing. Like the whole idea of like
it's probably gonna play out like South Park. To be honest, they're probably gonna have aliens come here and kind of give us some sort of test, an emissary, and we're gonna fail the fuck out of it because we're a useless piece of shit human race.
No, but I think that's what they've been doing for a while.
They've been scouting us out.
They've been checking us out for a hot minute.
Watching us just like murder each other and steal from each other.
Well, it's the same thing. Like it's the same thing biologists do when they go into the ocean.
Hack Stan's Pinewood Derby car.
No, but that's the same thing that we do with other species. If they found us, why wouldn't they be watching us? If they're peaceful, they've definitely already been here. If they're peaceful and they're here, they've been here for a long time, and they're just checking us. Okay, so this is why you need to listen to.
This is why this needs to be its own podcast.
Well, yeah, for sure, definitely.
But I think aliens are the beginning of humans, ancient aliens.
Oh, you really think that? Like the Zachariah Sitchins? So do you think that they came down and, used genomorphing technology and changed us from monkeys into humans?
Something like that.
I don't believe that story. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know if genetically we're the source. But at some point in history, all of the old like religious texts and all those crazy
they all
things,
point
like,
to.
I'm a big fan of the ancient aliens.
Okay, so
and they go too far in some of those episodes, but there's so much good shit.
I'm a huge fan of Ancient Aliens as well.
I think that they influenced early humans. I don't know if they created them.
So, have you ever heard of the theory that basically the human race is far older and has been civilized for far, like many, many, many thousands of years prior to our history? Okay. This is the thing that changed me, because I used to be Ancient Aliens. Because, I mean, you fucking watch the show, and there is a bunch of, like, weird shit where you don't understand. Like, civilization just pops up out of fucking nowhere. So, somewhat recently, in the last, like, 10, 12, 13 years, they uncovered a site called Göbekli Tepe. And it's in Turkey, I believe. But it's a site that is 100% guaranteed 12,000 plus years old. 100% created by man. And it's the first known archaeological site that points directly to true north. Not magnetic north, to true north. And it's 12,000 years old. And it's in Turkey. And right at the same time basically when that was... And it was deliberately buried. They can tell that by the stratification of the layers of the sand as they dig down into it. And it's giant. It's fucking huge, like multi-ton fucking pillars that are 20 feet tall, fucking 12 tons of pure stone, all placed in a circle in the ground. And they found this one because some Turkish farmer just happened to find like a weird square rock and decided to start digging it up. and then kept digging, and just like they unearthed this giant circle, and it's called Göbekli Tepe because it in Turkish or whatever the language they speak there, I don't know, it means like atop a hill or something like that. So they unearthed that one giant circle, which is crazy. Like, look it up. Just pull up on there. Just Göbekli Tepe.
How do you fucking spell that?
Goblek. Yep, there we go. And just go to images. Yeah, dude. 12,000 years old. And those pillars are 20 feet high. 12,000 years old. Do you know when the first recorded human civilization was around? The Sumerians. Yep, in Mesopotamia, the Sumerians.
Mm-hmm.
Earliest documented rough figure for them is 6,000 years old.
I thought it was 7.
Okay, 7,000 years old. Still, you have a 5,000 year gap between this being deliberately buried and civilization. Some people, so Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson. Graham Hancock's an amazing author. Randall Carlson is like he's a geologist basically. But they're proponents of the idea that Sumer and Sumeria, and where in Ancient Aliens they talk about the what are the from those the
Kamari? No.
From those from heaven to earth came Anunnaki. So that's part of the Sumerian culture that comes out of nowhere, and they say that in Ancient Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, what's far more likely is what Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson propose, is that we've been humans biologically and physiologically. We've had the same human mind for roughly 200,000 years. Why did it take us 193,000 years before we started a civilization? We had all the mental capacities. We had the same brain. We had the same bone structure. We had the same everything. But humans have been biologically essentially the same for 250,000 years. It's not DNA. Like they can find.
No. This is
okay.
Related. Something else I want to look at.
But their idea is that, and there's a lot of evidence. There's podcasts that you can listen to and watch that will explain it in much better detail than I can. But there is a fuckload of evidence that the thing that ended the Ice Age, that ended 12,000 years ago, was a giant meteor impact into the ice cap on top of North America. So most of North America was covered by 2 miles of ice. From like basically where we're at up was just all ice. And their theory is that a comet hit that area, wiped out 90% of the civilization. And even now, if you think about it today, if we got hit by a comet, or if Yellowstone blows up, or if we get hit with a gnarly sun flare, what do you think the odds that you and I would be able to just survive? If literally, so my argument has always been, and I've come to this independently, is just all it honestly takes nowadays is if just the internet goes down completely. And that can happen from a solar flare. It takes out all of our satellites because they're not protected by the radiation belt nearly as much as we are. Or they're not protected by the atmosphere.
I've fantasized.
So if the internet just stops, guess what? Money does not exist anymore.
Have you seen Mr. Robot?
No. I've heard of it though. But I had this argument with one of my friends a long time ago, and I was basically just saying, like, society and our system of living together is so fucking fragile. It would take such a small shift to just completely fuck over our entire society. And he was like, no, dude, totally no. I was like, dude, what if the fucking internet cut off right now? What would you do?
Shit would go to hell, but humanity would keep going.
A small number of humanity would keep going.
I don't think it'd be that small. I think you're underestimating.
Billions of people would die.
Millions of people would die out of how
billions.
many billions?
No, billions of people would die.
If the internet goes down?
Because if the internet goes down, we end up... If the internet goes down, we can't communicate because we don't have a national phone grid that works off of just wires anymore.
Yeah, but what's the cause of death for billions of people after internet? Starvation?
So do you remember roughly about a year and like 2 or 3 months ago when there was just a disease that's essentially like the flu happened and people were fucking knocking each other over for toilet paper. That's when we still had the internet, dude. And the internet is money. So that's the thing is, as soon as you get rid of the money, society collapses. Because now it's just nothing has value anymore. If the internet goes down, everyone sits there for like a week and just like, it's the same thing. Joe Rogan has a joke about this.
There'll be a solution for an internet-free bank. Those records.
But how long would that take? And how long would society be? But I mean, so an internet-free bank, cool. That's a great idea. Who knows how much money they have? How can you prove that you have that much money? I have Apple stocks. That's gone. Once the internet just goes away.
No,
because there's not a record of that.
There is. That's the problem.
Okay, so how am I going to get that record so I can prove that I have this money in this? I have to go to New York to the stock exchange.
The internet.
So do you think we have files? So do you think we have files and files and files of paper that are printed out and are physical copies that are recording everything?
No, but the difference is a solar flare could knock out the internet in terms of active communication, but it's not going to wipe all data from every hard drive on the planet.
No, not the hard drives, but how do you access?
That's where the data is. Okay. And regardless of how I can access it at one time or another, or the bank can manage it, it still lives somewhere.
Eventually.
So if the internet goes down, communication cannot be.
Okay, but
the data
again,
exists and can be transmitted with the collaboration of the right parties.
Cool. So what are you thinking? Like,
so it still exists.
Percentage-wise of being able to all right, how many years would it take up to set up a new global economy from absolute scratch, from just hard drives floating around the country or around the world, and linking all those up again?
It's already happening. We're already building the new internet. It's not a hypothesis.
All right, but then still though, I think, especially I had this viewpoint beforehand, but do you not remember what happened when we shut down the country? People died by being trampled in Kmarts.
Yeah, but it's not going to be numbers in the billions.
Across the world?
Yeah, it may be millions.
Oh, you know how many Chinese people will die if they just cut the internet out and all the Chinese government doesn't have the same money that they had? Like, it would throw the world into such chaos for a brief amount of time.
Billion. I think that basically in my mind, it's a 10% thing. So
we're arguing numbers, but how long do you think it would really take before? How long is it going to take before the economy from this past pandemic? How long is that going to be until everything's back to actually normal? You know how many people lost their businesses?
Yeah, I mean,
and lost their homes.
It completely fucked.
And
everything.
That was from a very honestly pretty. I mean, all condolences to anybody who lost anybody from this, but relatively speaking, SARS, or I think it was SARS, kills 25% of the people that it infects, or something like this. COVID kills less than 1%, and this happened to the global economy. Like, the global economy is going to be, it's a nightmare just from what's essentially a very, very small hiccup. Yeah. Okay, so let's get rid of.
We were just arguing about the numbers. I think that the impact, as you're saying, is
globally
the same.
felt.
It's the number of casualties that I was arguing against. From like, I think the human
people will eat people very quickly.
They will, but they also people survive at the same time.
Oh no, you know? But that's exactly what the point that Randall Carlson and George, not George, what's his fucking name? The British guy, whatever his fucking name is. I said it earlier. Look it up. That's exactly what they proposed. Is that a comet hit, wiped out 70% of the global population of humans, including 90-something% of the megafauna on North America. So the woolly mammoths, the argument's always been like, we killed the woolly mammoths by overhunting them. Do you know how hard it is to kill an elephant? Pretty fucking hard when all you have are spears. Right. There's no way we overhunted that population.
They just discovered the largest land mammal ever, bigger than the woolly mammoth.
Really?
It's a giant rhino. It's like 20 stories.
Oh, I think I might have seen that.
Something about that the other day.
But they argue that the population severely went down, and there was a core group of survivors. But those survivors, so basically the argument is most of the people, so for us and just like the Western civilization, if money goes away, if power goes away, we're fucked. If power just stopped, if the grid just went out from a solar flare, let's not even say the internet, let's say it's just the national grid is just done. No more electricity. How long do you think most people are going to survive? Not very long, because nobody's prepared for it. So the people that are civilized and in this like luxury culture more, they're going to die off. And the people that are going to live on are the unfound tribes in the Amazon and in the middle of Africa that have just been doing
the
that.
Crazy guy by himself in the mountains.
Oh, but he's going to die off because everyone dies. And if he doesn't have a society around him to protect him and sort of fold him in, then his lineage dies off. He's going to die eventually. So they're proposing the idea that some of these core survivors from these ancient civilizations, and we're talking like, also a really weird coincidence is if you look at when Plato talks about the fall of Atlantis, he calls it like 6,000 years before the age of Solon or something. You can't quote me on that, but like he gives a specific date for when Atlas supposedly sank into the ocean, and it lines up exactly with 12,000 years. So some of these higher civilized people, I guess, might have settled with these core group of survivors and taught them little things about architecture, or not architecture, but agriculture, and built a new society.
That's really interesting.
So that seems way more likely to me than aliens being benevolent, because they would look at us like ants and just go like, oh man, this anthill's fucking falling apart.
And that aligns better with, and honestly, the thing that strikes me is not a lot of the shit that they talk about in Ancient Aliens. It's the similarities in the divine encounters across ancient civilizations and religions. It's not necessarily what happened or what they built out of it, but it was like defining aliens like. But
I get that, but what I'll say just real quick to that's correlation, not necessarily causation. That's my only argument against that.
No,
it's very interesting that there is all these things going that like. But
it's the same argument I have against religion in general. I feel like I would consider myself spiritual, but not religious.
That was the most white Boulder girl thing I've ever heard you say in my entire life.
Really?
I don't consider myself religious, but I'm spiritual.
There is definitely
no, I know.
There is a power that connects us that can't be explained, and it's the existence of life and love and hate and good and bad, and
I agree with that.
And it's interpreted differently by so many different societies and religions.
But to the same point, does that lie outside of the human existence, or are we all just like, when you look at the genome of human to human, even though we may look so different, the amount of similarities we have is 99.99999999978% or something like that. Like, all of our brains function so similarly. We have the ability to detect the differences, and we focus on those. But maybe it's all of our minds sort of have evolved to think the same way. And so that way we sort of, so in a metaphor, like in Ancient Aliens, they always bring up the idea of like, why do so many countries or so many civilizations across the world, they always do everything in a question so they can't get called out on it. Yeah. Everything is just, and so what if, and some archaeologists say, it's always caveated.
Well, they always take everything too far. Like they always start with some really interesting evidence.
Well, because that keeps people listening and it keeps the idiots going.
They get the guys with the hair.
Well, but they're always like, oh, Georgia Papanopoulos.
Yeah.
Giorgio Papanopoulos, the most Greek person ever. Was that your headphones? Oh, that was the GoPro, probably.
Oh.
That was probably that shutting off. No. But they always say like, so why is it that so many cultures have pyramids? And in my mind, I'm like, because that's it's not only the simplest structure, it's the most stable structure possible. triangle is the most
That doesn't
stable.
surprise me as much.
Exactly. So like, what? But they ruin some of their good evidence by putting out stuff where it's like it's so logically
I
like
just think it's really.
it's
I
so
just think
obvious
it's
that you're-
curious. And the biggest thing, honestly, like I said, is kind of the. Like I guess everyone probably just had vivid imaginations, especially.
So, but this is my thing with aliens. What if they're not physical aliens? So what if all the physical changes that happened, through like culture being developed happened from a previous human culture? But what if the aliens are either just within our own minds and we all just have like sort of, what's parallel thinking, where we all kind of think the same thing, we see the same thing, and it's just like there. Because I mean, every culture has pretty strong a foundation, I guess, in their like folklore and stuff. Like the hero's journey is followed by every culture. Maybe it's just something that's just hardwired into our brain, and that's just the way we've interpreted it from evolving. Or maybe the aliens are from another dimension. That seems way more likely to me than goofballs in a spaceship, like Rick and Morty style, fucking like.
Right.
Like that seems.
I could see that. That's something I would be willing to have a scientific conversation about. I'm done with this whiskey. We should probably wrap up soon. But one thing I wanted to say.
This is going to turn into one thing I want to say.
One thing. Yeah.
This is the hardest thing about wrapping up a podcast. Is you say one thing and then I want to say one thing, and
you
then you
haven't
want to
seen-
say one thing, and then I'm going
You
to
like
want
to
say
make
one
fun
thing.
of me for
dude.
being a nerd, but you haven't seen Battlestar Galactica, have you?
Oh fuck yeah, I have.
Okay, good. So the theme,
Oh,
or
no,
one,
so-
of,
so-
one of their
so-
themes is
hold
this
on,
has
hold on,
happened
hold on,
before,
hold on, hold
and
on.
it will happen again.
Okay. True. Yeah.
Do you know what I
true.
mean? So like the cyclical nature of that show and the whole idea. There was another scientific article that just came out the other day that I read, that was an expanded geological study for millions of years into the Earth's history, and the measurements appear to give off what they called a pulse of the Earth. Every 28 million years, or 27 and a half, there's massive geological events, and Earth basically just rebuilds itself.
So it's
But it's every 28 million years, and according to this study, the
Like the
most
polar
recent
shift?
one was like 7 million years ago. So theoretically, you still have 20 million years till Earth
you want to
you know,
hear
proverbially sheds its skin and starts fresh.
you want to hear something even a little crazier than that.
But what if those were each humans? Like, what if we evolved and
I mean, it wouldn't be
became and died every time?
It wouldn't be
And
28 million years, but there's a significant amount of evidence that says that we go through. Okay, so we go through. What are they called? Every October and every June, we pass through a meteor cloud left over by like Hale-Bopp's comet or something like that. There's a theory that that's why Halloween in all these cultures, and Dia de los Muertes or whatever, all these like spooky holidays of death and like the afterlife come around October, is because we go through this meteor cloud every single October. And sometimes, I mean, it's basically like you're blindfolded riding a bicycle through highway traffic and you're just hoping you're not getting hit. And luckily space is big enough that we don't get hit that often, but there's a lot of evidence that says that we get hit a lot more often than we previously thought. So it could be on like a 10, 20,000 year cycle. But here's another thing. The Yellowstone Caldera, which is a super volcano, that if it erupted right now, we'd be dead within 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Just ash. It's like that's a society-ending catastrophe. It's like something like 260,000 year cycle when it blows up, and we're like, it's like 260 to 280,000 years or something like that, and we're right in that window. And,
well, I'm glad we're in Colorado.
And
close
also,
to there, yeah.
if that kind of thing does happen, this is the other argument that Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock, that's his fucking name, that Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock say, is that if something that giant exploded out of the earth, what would survive from, like, if it was that big, this hard drive ain't making it. You know what I mean? All the information on that, like, within, if you leave a car outside in the rain for 10 years, it's fucking dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So-
mean, that level of destruction would fuck some shit up.
But even that's not, I mean,
But humans would survive.
humans would survive, but society would collapse.
That
And you would have
do.
to rebuild society. So it basically turn everyone into a hunter-gatherer tribe once again. And their theory is that this has happened over and over and over again and then that brings in the idea
I'm fully
that,
stocked in my house for the. I'm a bit of a.
what you got. So okay,
Ever since Y2K,
how stocked are you?
my mom was always so worried about it. I have non.
How many years worth of rations do you have?
5
You have 5 years worth of rations?
Yeah.
Where?
in my basement, in my cellar.
You have 5 years.
Yeah.
Based on your tummy, dude, you're fucking finishing that in 4.5 weeks, bro. There's no way all those beans are lasting 5 years. It'll be a fake apocalypse, and you'll be just like, they'll find you, they'll finally break into your home, and you'll be just sitting in your basement with just like 500 empty cans of beans around you. And be like, yeah, that
It
was.
smells
Oh,
so bad
so-
in here.
So, it's just just bean farts. No, but so do you remember that happened like 3 years ago or something? In Hawaii, there was a, they send out those, I can't remember what they're called, but like if there's a missing child, like Amber Alerts. The state of Hawaii issued an Amber Alert basically, or just a notification to all of the citizens of Hawaii that there was a nuclear bomb or missile
I remember that.
headed towards them. And it took
Wait, how
them.
recent was that?
That was within the past. It was when Trump was in office. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was a while ago. I think it was more like 10 years ago.
No, look it up. Look it up. Hawaii false airstrike. No, not false alarm. No.
Sparks panic. Isn't that it?
look at
Missile
that.
alert? 2018?
Yeah, dude. 2018. So 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's exactly what I said, dude. And you had the fucking nerve to question me, bro. Oh, that happened like 12 years ago.
Hey,
no, it happened
fuck
3.
you and your nerve. I'm here to validate facts and just
Okay.
poke holes and
Charlie, dude, facts guy over here.
put my dick in those holes.
Dude, this guy over here, he's the fucking facts guy.
The facts guy. Drinking
Dude.
out of cups.
If you know anything about me, you know I'm a facts guy. That's me. Facts.
Don't send me an email. Send me a fax.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Dude, I was I not just talking about earlier in the podcast doing an analog podcast, running it off of cassette tapes?
If
Yeah,
you want to
fucking
be on the
fax
show,
me, bro.
fax us your information at 303. Go fuck yourself. You've got mail.
One of those things.
Anyway.
All right, well, dude, we did just an hour and a half right now. That's good. And we got the weird stuff.
We got some good
Out of the
content. Yeah.
We got exactly what we were saying before, like 45. We got weird stuff out of the way at the first, and then we came back and we shut the lights off, and then we got
Just
fucking
kick it.
dude got dark as shit, bro.
We gotta figure,
So,
figure out this headphone connection. Still in and out.
That was the name of my band in college, the Headphone Connection. No. All right, Charlie's loading. I guess that's a good place that we can end this podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening, I guess, because we still are working on the video. Yeah, check us out. No Fun Zone on all the platforms at No Fun Zone Pod. I mean, email nofunzonepod@gmail.com, and we'll catch you guys next time.